Oh, no, that's no good. I need my headphones off. I need that. Like that. Yeah. Right, we're in. Please look straight ahead and... Oh my God, look at the weather. Oh my good God. As my dad used to say. Please look straight in front of you and shift key to set the pilot view. That didn't do anything. Oh, maybe because I'm not... Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's what we want. There we go, we're in. We are in. Right, what was the button to get rid of that? Alt and T, was it? Yes. Yeah. Right. It's been a while since I did one of these. Reason being, just because I got bored of it. Right, let's get the stick of joinuses. The joystickery. Throttle's working, everything's working. Great. I feel strangely queasy. Right, we are in the A2A Piper Cherokee Mark IV. I don't know if it's a Mark IV, I made that up. But let's put some fuel in this bad boy. Medium stylage. There we go. No, why would that come up? It's not turned on. Right, we got to fly from... I've got to set this VR headset up. Don't know how high them clouds are, but they're not... I don't know. They're not looking that high. Oh God, there's black clouds above. There's black cloud. There's an MD-11 over there. Look at that. Wow. I'm liking that. Plane from the 90s. Right, let's get this part A, start A, right A. First of all, I'm going to set that up. Right, so what are we at? 210, 220, 226, 226. Is that right? Yeah, 226. Right, so let's set this to 226. I don't like that. Right. I don't like how it's stuttering a bit already. Right, battery on. Oh, let's check. I haven't checked this for ages. Basically, I didn't do the... I did the flight over Kazakhstan and Central Asia myself. And everything was alright with this. Oh my God, I think these are lower. Low compressione. Oil pump's fucked. That's alright. Don't worry about that. What does it say about it? It says oil pump. This oil pump has some time on it. So we can assume it could be wearing down. Wearing down? Oil pressure is still satisfactory, so it's still airworthy, but keep a close eye on it. That'll get us back to London. Bloody hell, this is my plane. Right, battery on. Fuel on. Let's turn that on. Don't know if that's the right way to do that. Probably not. Fuel is on. Right, let's go across the board. Fuel pump on. Landing lights off. Strobe off. Right, we want avionics on. Wake up all the GPS systems and the engine analyzation fluid. Checker outer. Right, the gear is not set in the right position. I don't know what the buttons are. That's not the right one. That's the right one. Off. Was that right? Let's get this thing started up. So, don't need to. Let's prime that a bit. Give it 3 hits on the old prime A. And let's turn that fuel pump off now. What am I forgetting to do? I think I'm forgetting to do something here. So throttle open a little bit. We've got the parking brakes set on. Right, both ignition magnetos turned on. Let's go for a start and see what happens. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was what I forgot to turn on. Oh, easy, easy, easy. This is what I wanted on. God, listen to that misfire. Right, enter, 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 enter. This is our GPS system. So, flight plan. Nav? I don't know. God knows how you use it. No GPS position. Well, you've got to leave that. We've got to sit here for a while just so that resets, so it learns where we are. We want the revs at around 1000 because we don't want to put any stress on these cylinder walls. So see the blue around the cylinders? That means it's cold. So there's cold air going in, look. That's our throttle position. This is obviously our crankshaft, this is our propeller. And these are our pistons. See, they're already changing colour, look, number 5's and number 3. Well, they're all slightly changing colour. They're going to go green and then they'll go brown. What you want is a nice browny colour. God, it is cloudy up there. Alright, flaps are... Right, let's get rid of that, we don't need that. Alright, what's the button for the flaps? That's it, right, flaps are up. Right, this is a big airport, so we don't need to worry about flaps. So what's the situation? I'll tell you what it is. We're at a big airport and it's called Incheon. It's the main airport in Seoul, South Korea. There it is. We're going to fly southeast all the way down. Well, you can't see where we're going, but it's off the map. But this is obviously South Korea. I think North Korea, I don't know where it starts. Maybe there, I don't know. Anyway, we're going South Korea, all the way down here. And on the bike, I'll be following a trail called the Four Rivers Trail. And that's the route you follow to get down south. And then when you get down south, which is only about 200 miles, so it's probably down here somewhere, you get a ferry from there to Japan. And then we go and see Togo, Uncle Togo. Right, and that's the plan, Stan. So let's take the parking brake up. So what I do is I'm not going to rev it up anymore, but it will just start rolling on its own and taxiing fine. In fact, it's going to be going too fast. But I'm really liking that MD-11 over there. I love old classic airliners. I love me a classic airliner or two. I thought that was thunder then, it's not, it was lightning. No, I mean it was the plane. Right, so it's raining over there. Which way are we going? I don't know. Well, we're going that way. Into the clouds. I don't know how high those are. It's a concern. Alright, how's the cylinder? Oh yeah, that was it. I normally check that cylinder head temp, don't I? See that? I'll show you where that is in a minute when we get over it. So, we got no air traffic control turned on. I don't even think we've got AI planes turned on, but it doesn't matter if we have, because they'll just fly straight through us. I'm not really worried about that. God, it's really windy today. Yeah, so this is the way we're going. We're going straight into that weather. It's alright. We can handle that. We're not idiots. Right, I'm sitting a bit far away from the steering wheel, so I'm going to move my head nearer. That's it, that's better. Could do with going up a bit. That's better, that's where we want to be. Right. So I'm watching that green, so watch my mouse, look, I'm watching that green. Once that needle gets up in that green area, which it nearly is, look, nearly there, I'll start bringing the revs up. Look, still 1000 revs. Put the parking brake on so I haven't got to hold the brakes down. We got enough fuel to do the 200 miles, I think. We're going to have the pitot heat. If you don't know what a pitot heater is, it's a little thing, I think it's out on that wing. And it's a sensor that gives you your airspeed. So there's your airspeed. So there's your airspeed. There's your whatever that's called, VSI I think, vertical whatever, something or other. Altitude, engine revs. That's your fuel flow. I think that's connected to that one. Is that the OBS? I can't think. I don't know. That's your autopilot. That's your compass sort of thing. But it's also an ILS. You can use that as an ILS, instrument landing system. I think it won't fly the approach on its own. You know, on the autopilot you still have to do it, but that's what you do. That's your vertical speed indicator. So that's when that's facing there. We're at 1,000 feet a minute up. That's another one of those, but set on a different radio, I think. Manifold pressure. So that's a pretty important gauge. Don't know what that one is. Suction, gyro suction. Don't know what that is. Clock. Don't know what that one is. Exhaust gas temperature, maybe. So fuel pressure, fuel tank, oil pressure, amps on the alternator, oil temperature. There's your cylinder head temp, and now it's come up and it's hitting that green band. We're going to bring the revs up a little bit, so we'll warm her up. We're going to warm her up, boys. So down here you've got your master switch, which is all your battery for everything. Fuel pump switch. This is your lights for the dashboard. Everything works, by the way, as I told you before. Landing lights, strobe light. Oh yeah, we didn't turn these on. Let's turn the strobe light on. Should have turned the rotating beacon light on before I started the engine. That's what that's for. That's a hydraulic gear, landing gear handle. That's your fuel mixture. This is a parking brake. That's your starter button. This is your magnetos, so your ignition system in effect. That's your throttle. This is your prop angle, or your prop speed. Carburetor heat if you're going through some icy weathers. Fuel primer. Those are two circuit breakers, I think. Autopilot, yeah, circuit breakers. And this is all your ventilation heaters and stuff. And this is your controllers that come out here, but you know, they get in the way, so I just turn them off. This works, look, you've even got a little ashtray there, the old window works. Yeah, well that is, what's that? Oh, that's got to be aileron trim. Right, where's our temperature? Temperature's there, we're all in the green, oil temps come up now, oil pressure's up. And we're there, so let's just bring it home a bit more. And it's running a lot smoother now, see? Right, now the cylinder temperature is going to rocket straight up, so we'll just let it get up there before we really give it some beans. And then we just got to follow that line. We just got to go straight. V-log, is that V-log? No, that ain't right. We want that on GPS. That's it. So now, if we put that on whatever, we should, that line should come over, we're probably to the left of the line. To the right of the line. So we need to go left, look, see? So if we turn left, then that line will go in the middle, and that line will correspond with that line there. So when we take off, we'll take off and then we'll turn left, follow that line, and then that will be in the middle. We'll set that angle up, I can't remember, I don't know what that angle is. We'll set it up, and then we can turn the autopilot on, and then we can tell it to follow this line. So that's what we might do. But we've got to worry about this weather. Anyway, let's go. So foot brakes in, handbrake off, and don't have to give it full throttle. Half throttle's enough. We've got so much runway, we can just take her easy. And you'll notice as we speed up, look, see the speed there, 60. We've only got to get, oh god, where's the trim? Mind you, oh, bloody miles away. Alright, I'm gonna, let's set the trim properly. Glenn's laughing his arsehole off, me doing this. Told you I ain't been in the plane a long time. Neutralis. What the hell's happened there? Oh, hold on a minute. Have we got... Ah, we've got a button to do that. Right. Get it neutral. I'll do... Right, let's try that again. Now we won't be doing a wheelie as soon as we get to 50 mile an hour. So, the wind's already pushing us to the left, look. We're going to take off, we'll be going to the left anyway. So we're at 60 knots, look. So when we get about 70 or 80, it'll start wanting to lift off on its own. There we go, look. Nose is coming up, look. There we go, we're up. Wheels up, let's get the wheels up. How'd you get the wheels up? There's the wheels up. And then what I would do always straight away, shouldn't do it straight away, I suppose you really need to climb out a bit further than this. Get the revs back down to 2,300. And that's it, we're away. It's a big airport, isn't it? Look at the size of that. God, that is big. You wouldn't have a little plane like this taking off from here, I guarantee you that. Oh, that's what happened to our frame rate then. Look at how busy it is down there. So you can see we're heading to the left now, like I've said we would need to. God, that's a massive airport. It's like twice the size of Heathrow. Oh God, there's tons of stuff over there as well, look. That is a big airport. Right. So, see, we're heading left, so we want to be heading that way over towards that island, but look, see, we want to be on this line. So that line's coming over to the left now. It means we're coming over to this line here. So we're nearly on it, look, so let's turn right. In fact, we can already turn the autopilot on, so let's turn that on. We can get it to follow that line. Really though, what I should do is follow the bike route, which will be here. I can't be arsed. Let's just go across this bit of the sea. Right, so let's set the autopilot's ready. So you press this until you get to track. I think track low and high. I think track is low like accuracy and high accuracy. I don't know. Anyway, we press that until we get there, and that's it. Right, the autopilot's turning the plane left and right now, so it's going to head us onto that line. Let's put it on high accuracy. I think it works better on higher accuracy. So it looks like the clouds are a bit higher than I thought they was. So that's all right. So trimmed up now. We'll just let it capture that line and that's it. We'll just let it do its thing. God, that's a bridge in it, look at that. A bit stormy, isn't it? So, about 2,300 revs, so what I normally do is I match this manifold pressure, which is controlled by the throttle, to the revs. So we'll go to 2,100. That's normally a nice comfortable engine setting, and then 2,100 on the throttle. There we go. So 2,100, 2,100, and this gives you gallons per hour, so we're at 15 gallons per hour. That's alright. We're climbing up that, so we're already at nearly 2,000 feet, 1,750 feet already, look. So this is it, South Korea. Autopilot's caught up now, look. Which is why we're slightly turning left. If I zoom in, look, see it needs to turn left to capture that line. And it's gone over it now, look. That's alright. It'll work it out. And then once, what I do is, so the autopilot actually follows this GPS system. It doesn't follow this. It follows this. This is just an indicator of what you're following. So once this is straight and level and nice, then I'll straighten this out. And we're at, let's stop there, we're at 2,000 feet. So that's the altitude hold. So you see the nose dip down now. So now we're at the altitude hold. So we're at 0 there, so we're not going up or down. And on the plane will speed up quite a lot now. And then what will happen is this will come on, there it goes, look, and that's telling you to drop the trim down on the back. I just pointed at the back there with my thumb. You didn't see that, but I did it. So if I move the trim down to the down position, look, because what happens, the faster the plane goes, the more up it wants to go. If you've got it set up like neutral trim when you're going slow, you know, if you go faster and faster, it wants to go up. So now it's, oh god, why is it everything going? Why is my rift going all foggy? Is it because it's cold out? Do I need some ventilation? Cabin vent defroster, cabin. Because it is quite early in the morning. Or is it just my eyes and the sun? Anyway, so if you get it, so these ain't coming on. So see where it says trim up, trim down. See, so it wants more down trim now, because like the plane's sped up a bit more. Like, so what's happening is the plane is trying to climb now because it's going faster than it was, but the autopilot is trying to keep it level. Well, it is keeping it level, but it's doing that by pushing the nose down, pushing the controller forward. So you want it to be centered, everything's centered. So you've got to come down. And then the light goes off. And then what you can do, you can set that. That's got to be a man-made island, isn't it? God knows what that is. So what you can do is you can set this to... why is it? This is really fucking up. I don't know why. You can set this to be really accurate if you look at this info. So see where it says distance to go. How do we do this? I can't remember how you do it. ETA 1 minute, 1 hour 58 minutes. Well, I don't know if I can handle that. I can't do 2 hours. I thought it was about 200 miles. It ain't going to take that long to get there. Yeah, I can't handle that. We'll have to land somewhere before we get there. Anyway, so what you do is when this gets to where it's not accelerating anymore, this isn't speeding up or anything like that. I think it might be when you get under an hour, because it will show seconds then. This is 1 hour 47 minutes now. The reason it's gone down really quick is because the plane's speeding up. That's why it's gone down, that's why it's jumped, and it's going to stabilise now because we're around our top speed, cruising speed at that revs and manifold pressure, which is a bit low, look. So we'll just lift that up a bit. There we go. So we're going to speed up a little bit more now. So this will jump down a tiny bit more, probably go down to 145 now. Once the plane speeds up a bit, it's actually slowing down. That might be because of the wind. Let's turn the gear off. Don't need that on. There you go. I can't wait to come here on the bike. It's supposed to be such a good touring country to tour through. Just following these 4 rivers. I wonder if it is a different... No. No. Waypoint, can you settle with this? No. 157. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. So when this stabilizes and it doesn't jump around, which it's not doing now, if you give it a little one click of down trimlet, that's one click. Sometimes this jumps down and it like just goes to 150. There we go. Look, it's going 156. I don't know if that was going to change then anyway, but it might jump down to 155 in a minute. Let's get that sorted out. Yeah, look, 155 it jumped down to, so that was well quicker than a minute. So that means we've sped up. So that means that this is getting to a more neutral position on the trim. Look, now 154. And we're not going down. The autopilot's still keeping us at the 0, you know, level. Down to 153 now. There's little houses down there. I'm going to drop down there, I think. I've already had enough of this autopilot. Sod that. Let's go have a look at these places. Ooh, don't go too fast. We'll break the plane. The plane will break. So basically the plane is still set to trim at 2100 inches of manifold pressure, I think that is. So once we get to 2100 it will level out, the plane will level out, because that's how it was set before. I know we're a little bit lower now and the air's a bit thicker, but it will still level out and it'll be trimmed properly. That's how accurate this A2A stuff is. South Korea, right? There's a lot of wind coming off these hills. Bit of a town going on over there. Yeah, this ain't going to be a long flight. I didn't know it was going to be 1.5 hours. I thought it was going to be about 40 minutes to do 200 miles. Just going to find an airport and land and do it tomorrow or something. But it's good to be back in the sim. See how much movement there is on the wings though. Bit hilly, isn't it, this country? I hope the roads don't go straight over and above them and on top of them. God, when I get here, all I've got to do is get to the other side of Kazakhstan. I've already been to Kazakhstan, all I've got to do is get to the other side of it. And then I fly to here and then I'm halfway around the world almost. Well, nowhere near halfway around, but, you know, past the point of no return. can imagine a load of people down there with them pointy hats, you know, scything the field away. Oh, we're off course. So 2100, yeah, that's it. So I haven't got to do anything to the plane to lift the nose up or drop it down. It's doing it on its own. You know, it's just flying level on its own pretty much. Might be a little bit of rain ahead of us. Is that rain? Don't know. We'll find out. We've got real live weather on and time of day. Off course a bit, we'll be over there somewhere. I suppose we go to autopilot again, we're down this low. So just wait for this little ready light to come on, well, stay on. It goes out and then it'll come back on again. So there we go. So track high and auto altitude hold. There we go. So the autopilot's flying it now. So it's going to find this line again. So it's going to fly over that way a bit. Head over towards that island probably, then turn left again. We just got to keep an eye on any hills that come in front of us because the autopilot won't fly over anything. It'll just go straight into a hill if it's a hill in front of us. That's alright, we can handle it, It's pretty flat around here, that's why I turned the autopilot back on. So I can look out window instead of looking at what I'm going to crash into. I meant side window. Oh look, there's a football field down there. Nice. Oh, we're back on course, look. Yeah, I can't wait to get here. It's going to be brilliant. Oh, good. I think you can camp here as well along the river. You got no problem with that. Get fishermen camping along the rivers here. In like modern tents, so I'm going to fit right in. $215 miles. 1 hour 40. That just don't add up. Yeah, I suppose it does, doesn't it? Yeah, we're doing 155 knots. Yeah. Oh, I'm just going to land it in someone's field. We'll do it when we get over the other side of those hills. See how nice the engine's running now, even though we got those pistons down low compression, look. It runs brilliant, look. So see the temperatures, look. Oh, mixture, God. I don't really have to mess around with the mixture at this altitude. So basically we want to get mixture pulled back all the way until it starts misfiring. There's misfiring, look. It's running rough. Just push it forward a little bit. There we go. That's it. It's a perfect mixture. All these are in the green. That's it. This one's slightly dark, so let's just go back one click, see if we can get that green. Yeah, You're never going to get it as green as these because these are further away, so these are running weaker than these cylinders here. That one's getting a little bit hotter. So they all warm up at different temperatures, yeah? So, but they're all firing. I knew it was going to be 1 and 2. Alright, 1 and 2 and 6. Alright, let's just have a look at that. Right, 1, 2 and 6. So 1 is a little bit cold. Look at the difference in the temperature. See the red? And this is yellow. I mean, it is because this is at the front of the engine. You've got like 150 mile an hour wind coming into this engine, so these cylinders are going to be colder than these ones. And that is the only reason. It's nothing to do with how the engine's running. So yeah, we're all good. So we've just got to watch out now because we're heading straight towards a hill. So we might have to turn the altitude hold off, which is that button there. So we can turn that off and then we can just pull it back. Pull back on the stick and climb up just to get over that hill, which is what we're going to have to do. So we're heading straight for it. Or we could turn and go around it. In fact, I'll show you how we do that. So what we do with the autopilot to do that, see how little green triangles going around? Look. So if we do that, if we set it to there and then we press that button there until it goes to heading, HD, which is heading, this is the heading bug, the plane will turn left and then follow that. So that's what we'll do. Look, watch, ready? So there we go, put it on heading, now the plane will follow that green triangle. So we just move it around a bit, now that's the way we want to go, look, and we go around the hill. So you do that, see? So now we're off course, let's see, so it's heading to the right. So when we want to get back, so really I want to go around the left hand side of that hill now. Right hand side of that hill, I mean. So I'm just doing the mouse wheel. Just go around this hill. Keep it going, a bit more. I'll show you where I'm going to go. Oh, there's a gap there as well, I could go that way. We go this way. So a good rule of thumb is follow a river. Rivers are always low down. So let me move that because that sounds a lot better when I'm over. Oh, that might be better, I don't know. Right, so see this rivulet? I'm going to follow that river with this button, with this twist knob thing. See if we can, unless it turns left and goes down that way, which I think it might be doing as it goes. Really want it to go sort of, in fact I think it's just disappeared. So we're going to go up this valley, look. Yeah, that river wasn't really much of a river, was it? That's it there, I think. It's going down that way, so don't really want to go down that way. Going to go through this gap in this valley down here, see if we can get all the way down here without having to climb up. Hopefully we'll be lucky enough to get down here without having to climb. It's no big deal, we just click that and just climb if we have to. I mean, we've got enough airspeed, so not a big deal. So let's just turn this. So I'm not flying this, the autopilot's flying it, it's just following that green triangle. And there we go, we just follow this valleyway down here. Because this is set on heading, so there's heading. So that means the autopilot's on and it's set for heading. Heading. Sorry, that's the altitude. So just bring it left a bit. You can see the lines look off, so we want to turn right and go down that gap down there. I mean, we could climb up a bit and then straight line it. We're going to have to climb, look, because there's hills in front of us now. So, show you what that looks like. So just get lined up. So if we line that up with that, then we know they're going the same way. When we're supposed to be over there, because the route's over there, look. But we're going this way. So altitude, hold off. That light comes off. We just pull back on the stick a little bit. And up we go. There we go, let's see. 500 feet a minute. Thousand feet a minute. So this clock now, it will take a minute from that. You know, if we was at 1,000 feet a minute, it would take a minute from that to get round once back to there. Anyway, we're high up enough now, so altitude back on. So I want to see what those buildings are like. Look. Those buildings up there. So if you're climbing and you press that, see how the plane dropped down. Because if we turn it off, right? So I'm controlling the altitude now. If we turn it on when it's at 0, when the VSI is at 0, look, right there, nothing much happens, look. But if we're climbing like that and we turn it on, then the plane takes a reading from when you press the button, so now it has to drop down to get back down to the altitude that you wanted when you press the button. And it does it. It's clever. See? Clever. Like, look at them buildings. Wow. What's this place? Look at that. God. Land of the skyscraper. I wonder what this place is called. Oh, airport. That's where we're landing. There. That is where we're landing. Is it on this one? No. Yeah, that's where we're going to land. It's just coming up on the left side. It might be a helicopter pad. I think it is. Yeah, it's not. There's not going to be an airfield in amongst all those buildings. But just in case, let's just go and have a look. So look, turn this right over to the left. Look, see if we can get a sharp left turn going. See if we can see it. It's over there somewhere. That'd be a helipad on a building. There won't be an airfield in amongst all these buildings. Just no one would do that. Nobody would make that. So see it there. So it's just off to our left there. Look, there it is. There, look, green H. Helipad. So let's just, for ease and quickness, let's just turn that onto track high. It'll just find the course now. Just get us back to the course. So yeah, it was a helipad. God, that's a slow turn, isn't it? Let's do it on the heading bug. It'll turn it faster. Get us over there. See, it banks harder on the heading bug. Yeah, it's clearing up a bit. Get a head over that way, just flat over that way. Even though this is, the course is ahead of us now, look, see the pink line? Just going to head over there where the hills drop down a little bit. And then turn right, left I said. about now. So we're heading south. Look, there's a big S there. That stands for south. Rush hour traffic in the morning down there. Right, where's the next airport? So look, I don't know why they're not showing up on this one, but they show up on this one. So these are all helipads, you can tell by the longer writing. So there's no airports to land at. So that's an airport. RKSG. It's always 4 letters. I'm tempted to fly back now. Nah, just follow that road. So see, we're heading this way. So we're obviously heading towards the line. Look, this is how air navigation works. Before you had these, before you had the GPSs, you had these. So you knew that if you wanted to fly from certain place to some other place, you tune your radios in, which are, where the hell are they? Oh, they're not here because we've got GPSs, but they would be here. You tune your frequency into somewhere, 60 odd miles ahead of us. If you wanted to fly there on a course that's south, this line, you'd fly this way until you could turn left, and then once this beam comes across here like this, you turn south and you're heading straight towards it, and obviously you can change this angle. So that's how it works, and we have to worry about what we're doing here, because can't be bothered to climb up. I wonder if we get through that gap that's right in front of us. Let's test it out. I don't think we will, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see if we do. I think we will. We'll make that. So look, altitude hold is on, heading hold is on. I want to go right through that gap, just using this green knob, and I think we'll be alright. Just got to be a bit careful, but we'll be alright. You got to be a bit careful with the wind. The wind can blow you down and suck you down like that. Look, but we'll be alright. Yeah, we're fine. What's that? Oh. I haven't cleared it by miles. Yeah, weather's cleared right up. So see how the altitude changes and goes up and down? That's because of the wind over these hills. So we're supposed to be heading that way a bit. I do really want to find somewhere to land though and call this day this one. Didn't want to fly. I thought we'd be there by now. Got 1.5 hours. It's gone midnight here already. We'll find some open fields, we'll just dump it on the ground. Take a note of where we are and follow it next flight. Yes, we do find a little airfield. You'd have thought there'd be 1 or 2 knocking about. Ooh, what's that over there? No, that's over there somewhere. It's like more helipads. So we're getting close to this, so watch the beam, look, it's going to be coming over in a minute. There it goes, it's already moving over to the left, look. So now we can go on high frequency, so turn it to that. So now the autopilot's following that line again. So it knows it's heading for that line, so it knows it's going to have to turn left once that line gets closer to the middle there. Look, just watching the hills. So there we go, it's just turning left. So looking straight ahead of us and where we're turning left, there's nothing really that's going to cause us any problems. If we was turning left right over then, that obviously that one there will, but we're alright. So the autopilot's keeping us level. Look, just dropping down slightly. Still, all it is the wind off these hills just kicking the plane around a bit. So there we go, we're lined up pretty much. Just come left a little bit more. I don't know if I'd want to trust an autopilot like that in real life, and I'm probably guessing that you wouldn't in real life either. Right, this is looking grim. There's just no heliports, or no airports, no airfields. No, it's not happening. Ah, RKIC, RKUC, what is that? RKUC, right, see that one? See that one there? Hold on. See that one there? Let's just make sure there's no hills. Safety first. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. RK9QK, that's a helipad, but RKUC, because it's a 4-letter code, that normally would mean it's a little airfield or an airport. So that is going to be us, and it's on our route, look, straight ahead of us. So we will see it. I'll be able to see if it is an airfield. We're going to be going right over it, and it's not that far from that river, so wherever we cross the river is where the airfield is. So it might, so it's this side of the river. So is that it there on the left there, down there? That might be it. That might be it there. That's it there, look. Little airfield there. Wonder what town this is. We're going to find out. There's a little airport, look. Look at that. There it is, right there. Runway for car. It looks like it's been disused for years. Anyway, so autopilot off. Let's get down there. So remember, the wind was going straight towards us when we took off, so we're still going the same direction, so it should be going straight towards us as we land now. So we want the prop full forward in case we need all the power to get out of trouble. That looks like a really disused, rough as... Oh, it's an airbase. Look, there's helicopters down there. Well, painted helicopters. Anyway, let's land there. Get in trouble with the authorities. Right, so the plane's slowed down a lot. See, we're doing 110. So we got to put some pitch on the trim to stop the nose from dropping, and I'll keep adjusting that as we fly the approach. I wonder what town this is. We'll find out. We're speeding up a bit too much now. So that white band there, that white band is, we can put the flaps down now because we're in that white band. The flaps are that big black lever there, and when we move that, look, oh, that's not the right one. When we move that, the wing flaps going down. See them going down? Put them down and up there. So that's what we use to slow the plane down and give it more lift when it's going slower. So a bit of a left turn going on, and we're in the flap range. Look, we're at 110, so we'll bring the flaps down now. and then when we're lined up we'll bring more flaps down, slow the plane down even more. Look, we're doing about 100 and whatever that is, 105. So you can see the runway now, look, so we'll slow down even more, bit more flaps, one more flaps. We'll bring the wheels down now. So the wheels coming down, so that'll slow the plane down even more. So we're lined up now, so we're going to drop the throttle all the way back, full flaps now. Because we're slowing down now, the nose is dropping, look. So we need to pull the trim back, keep the trim with the nose up, and I'm just going to adjust the trim all the way down the slope now with a bit of engine. Don't want to go too much slower than that, 90 miles an hour. So always just changing that trim just to keep it flying where we want to fly it, and that's it. And we'll just have a little look around. Drop the speed down a bit. We drop the speed down a bit, the nose drops. Speed up and the nose goes up. I'll probably be shot for landing here in real life, because this is a total military base. But we're not in real life. So just a little short flight today. So we do a bit of a flare, which means you just lift the nose up. Won't change the throttle position, just lift the nose up about now, and the plane will slow down on its own, and then we can drop the throttle down as it goes, because we're running out of runway already, look. So get it down, there we go, get on the brakes. Go on. So we'll just use the whole runway. God, what a ropey old airport. Oh yeah, forgot to put the mixture in. That's alright. Full rich mixture as you're flying in the approach. Don't laugh, Glenn. Right. Flaps up. Gear off. That'll do us. Let's go over to those buildings over there. Listen to how rough it's running. I'm gonna have to clean the spark plugs. Which you can do in this game, on this flight plane. Yeah, we'll go over there to those buildings. We'll get arrested. This will do us. That's not a trumpet, that's the brakes. So I just hold it on the brakes and clear everything out a bit. And then just turn it off and throttle back at the same time. And then that is us. Right, let's turn everything off, get everything in. Here come the police. Right, so cabin vents in. That's in, that's in, that's in. Prop all the way in, gears off, mixture fully rich. Ignition's off, pitot heat off, strobe light off. Avionics off, everything's off. Get the trim back in a neutral position. And the reason I am doing this is because this all gets remembered for the next flight in this simulator. And that's it. Battery off, we're there. We're on our way. Okay, that was a short hop, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm knackered, going to bed. Yeah.